Hey, a question I get a lot is what am I doing to make some extra money on the side? One of those things is wholesaling real estate. So today, I'm going to explain what wholesaling is after the multiple deals that I've been able to do from just getting started until now. The wholesaling process, start to finish, is very simple, but can be a little nerve wracking and scary when you first get into it. But basically, wholesaling involves three parties: you as the wholesaler, a seller, someone that wants to sell their property, and a buyer. So the most basic and simple understanding is this, or of this, is you are going to find a seller that wants to sell their house, and then you're also going to find a buyer that would buy that house. So you're essentially bringing the seller and the buyer together, and then you make money for making that connection to someone that wants to sell their house and someone that wants to buy their house. The type of wholesaling that I'm doing is I'm going direct to a seller that isn't marketing the property. They don't have a real estate agent. They need or want to sell their house for some reason, but they're not marketing that. So that's called direct to seller. The types of sellers and how you find them, we can get into in a later video. This video is just explaining what it is, what wholesaling is, and how the process works. So basically, the process goes through you and a seller. They want to sell their house, you find them, and you come to an agreement on a price to sell their house. Let's say that is $100,000. Okay. Then you find a buyer that wants to buy this house. And let's say that price is $110,000. So where we are right now is you have found someone that wants to sell a property. You come to an agreement with that person and you get that under contract to say, I'm going to buy your house for $100,000. Now, you're not actually buying the house. So don't get caught up on that right now. But you and the seller come to an agreement to buy the house for $100,000. Now, the second part of that process is you find a buyer, and you and the buyer come to an agreement to say, I have this house. If you want to purchase it, it's going to be $110,000. So you and the buyer come to an agreement, get under contract to buy that house for $110,000. Okay. Now, the process goes through a normal real estate transaction, a title company to make sure it's all legal. You got everything you need. We'll go through that more later. And once that house closes, the buyer buys the house for $110,000. The seller is owed $100,000. And then what happens is you make the difference between those two, which in this case is $10,000. And that's how you make your money in wholesaling real estate. So you essentially have an agreement between you and the seller, and then an agreement between you and the buyer. The two come together. He pays the 110,000 price. The seller is owed 100,000, and you make what's in the middle, the spread between the two contracts that you're going to have with the two separate people. And in most cases, This might be less, it might be more, just depending on what you can get agreed upon with the seller and what you can get agreed upon with the buyer. And how to find these sellers, how the different types of sellers we can get into later. Same with the buyers, where to find these buyers, how to vet the buyers, what they're looking for, and things like that. It is stuff that you're going to need to know, and we will go over that later. But essentially, this is the process of what is wholesaling, what I'm doing on the side to make this additional money that a lot of people are asking, what is that? What do you do? And that is essentially it. Very simple process at the very basic level of it. Obviously, a lot more goes into getting this done, but essentially, just to recap, you find a seller, someone that wants to sell their property. You find a buyer, someone that will buy that property. You're going to get an agreement between each party, whatever price that is. In this example, it was $100,000 to the seller. The buyer is going to pay $110,000. Once the transaction gets closed, you get is what in the middle. The difference between the two, and in this case, for the example, it was $10,000. And I have done multiple deals to where we've made $10,000, $15,000 per transaction. There's potential either way. It really just depends on where it is, what type of property, the seller, the buyer, how quickly do you want it to move, and things like that. And that is the process. Hopefully I've explained this well enough for you guys to understand. This explanation has helped me along the way and understand the process. If there's any questions or comments that maybe this doesn't encompass or make the process understandable, please let me know. Be happy to reach out and talk to people about it. When I got started, I had people that helped me through the process. And if someone is curious and wants to get started, I'm more than happy to help them get started in kind of a pay it forward type situation. So hope this helps. If you want to watch me along my journey, have questions, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have more stuff coming out that has helped me along the way and hopefully will help people behind me to maybe get started sooner than I did so that they could be a lot further along. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. See you next time.